Hello there. Today I intend to speed up the speedrun a little bit. I'm going to play until I hit 2200 or I lose, whatever happens first. We're still going to analyze the games and I'm going to explain them, of course. But let's try to climb up the ladder a little bit faster. Currently I'm at 2135, so we're 65 points shy from the objective. So let's start right away and see how much time it takes or if I can get there, because if I lose, that's the end of this video. And I hope it's not that quick. Okay, first off, we get an opponent rated 2090. I'm going to play my Sicilian, my usual Taimanov if he plays knight f3. I'm going for the Taimanov. It's said my opponent played b3 and it's clearly a sideline. What I'd like to do about this is attack the e4 pawn. I play b6 here, I play bishop b7. Since he probably doesn't want to put the knight on c3, or at least it interferes with the bishop. So this is quite playable. Okay, he goes knight to c3. It's not like I know the theory here or anything. I wonder if knight f6 or knight c6. I'm just going to play knight c6. Though knight f6 was probably a little bit more principled considering what I wanted to do. If e5, I guess I can play knight g4, and this is a little bit, well, it's almost, that pawn is almost lost. I think I can keep playing normal developing moves, and he's still discouraged to play this move. h3, okay, okay, clearly he wants to play e5 himself now, makes sense. And I wonder if I can go d5. My problem here is that if I play d5, he might go e takes d, and knight takes d. Well, I don't know if I can play that, because my pawn will be hanging on g7, even though it looks kind of dangerous for him to take that pawn maybe. And after d5, e takes. I really don't want to take with the pawn, because he may play d4, and I'm probably getting an isolated pawn there on d5. It's a tough choice for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Queen c7. May run into some knight b5 and e5 anyway, though I'm not sure it's such a big deal. So queen c7, knight to b5, queen b8, and if e5, I can play knight d5. And I don't appreciate that he's kicking me around so much, though I have f4 for the knight, so that might be fine. I would try that. Honestly, it doesn't look great. I'm not that happy with this move at all. He might just play d4 here and okay, he didn't. Send this into normal open Sicilian position. Okay, still wants to play e5. I don't know if that's such a big deal. I might just castle. I don't trust e5. I can take, I guess. If knight takes, queen takes. And if bishop f3 with a discovered attack is the only one I see attacking my bishop, I would just go back with the queen and defend, probably. Okay, he goes knight b5. That makes sense. I'm just going to go queen b8. And if the e5 this time, this time I'm just getting into d5. So this is all really sketchy. I mean, he really caught me off guard in this one. I'm not sure my my setup makes a lot of sense. But as long as I have knight to d5 and my knight can go to f4, I don't think he has such an amazing position either. And he has to justify the knight being here. If he has to go back at some point, then probably more than fine. So I have knight f4 in any case. So I'm not worried about all this. The knight might even go back to g6 and attack e5. So for the time being, I have to... I'm wondering if a6, but this time he has this well protected. Now I have a tough choice. I really want to play f6. Even though this could become a target if I just go knight g6. I'm intending to play a6 and knight c3. I'll just take here. Not an easy one, not an easy choice. There's also knight b4 to get in here and to open up this bishop at d4. And I'm not getting into anywhere. And the knights are maybe a bit too far. So what do I do now? I'm liking f6, even though I'm getting... I'm allowing him to get rid of that e5 pawn. I'm not really that sure that it's going to be that it's not going to be a weakness or a target after some knight g6, but I'm going to do it anyway, because if I can exchange this bishop after pawn takes, bishop takes, I'm getting the better of the two. And my pieces are going to be more active, so I don't really know what he's trying to do. Maybe d4. But d4 I have a6 and d4 is left hanging. Okay, so this makes more sense. Maybe now d4. I'm really liking my prospects in the sense that all my pieces are somehow looking at his king. Okay, so d4, a6, knight to c3. I wonder if there aren't any tactics with knight takes d4, knight takes d4, knight takes h3, check, g takes h3, rook g6, check. My god, that looks like, whoa, that looks like a very strong attack. a6 I have to play anyway, probably, because he has d4 so well protected. But d6, d5 I just take, I'm more than okay there. But the main line is knight c3, clearly, the one that I have to really figure out. But knight takes, knight takes, knight takes h3, it really looks like I'm crushing him, because this check is coming here. The bishop will be controlling h1, the queen h2, so that king is going nowhere. I'm just going to play it. I'm going to play a6. Knight c3, I think I can open up the diagonal for this bishop, and there are going to be some really nasty tactics with knight takes h3. I might even start with knight takes, g takes, knight takes d4, and the pressure on the knight on f3 seems unbearable to me. Knight takes d4, he might have this. I don't know. I might be just going a little bit too far with all this. I think I might just take. I mean, this is the thing I wasn't so convinced about, but at the very least I have rook g6. Okay, knight takes d4. Now I think knight takes h3 really works. G takes, rook g6, and where's that king going? I'm gonna play it. And that must have been a surprise to him. King h1, I always have knight takes f2 with a fork, and I get his queen. Okay, rook g6, and bishop g2 is the only move, but then the attack has to be absolutely crushing after rook takes. What is my next move though? King. Okay, he resigned. I think that the attack is clearly winning. But yeah, all of a sudden f6 just made my pieces free, and the attack was pretty strong. So let's play another one. I don't know if this one deserves that much of an analysis, even though it was. Okay, I get an opponent right away. Let's play d4. Let's play d4, knight f6, c4, g6, king c Indian, okay. Or no. It's gonna be a Grunfeld. That's fine. I will just play with the big center, and I'm a fan of of keeping the big pawn center as long as I can. Okay, queen a5. Knows what he's doing. I think I will play this line. Rook c1 intends to defend the pawn so I can push. And if c takes after queen trade, well, the endgame is still, it's kind of complicated. I will play rook c1. I don't know if he can play this right away. I think some knight c6 was in order. I'm not really that sure. Okay, he castles. Now what? Now he wants to play knight c6. Can I play rook c7 here? And this move is kind of weird to me. I'm gonna play knight f3. Not gonna do any crazy stuff. If knight c6, I think bishop b5, if I remember correctly, is more or less annoying. I might be getting the order or the whole line wrong, because if bishop d7, I have this d5, knight e5. I think I can just take, and if knight takes, my rook is coming to c7 pretty quickly. So I think he must have done something kind of wrong in the opening. Bishop g4 this time. I think I can just pick up a pawn, maybe. Yeah, something was off. I think he shouldn't have taken so fast. That knight should probably already be on a5, intending bishop e6, trying to get into c4. I'm really not I'm really not sure how he intends to stop this. His play might have been a little bit too straightforward here. And now bishop d7 doesn't save the day because of d5. So bishop d7, d5, knight e5, bishop takes, knight takes. I get rook c7 in, and yeah, I think I'm winning one of these pawns. After the knight moves, oh, but wait a minute, he can play knight f6 and attack this pawn. It's never that simple, is it? I can still play king d3 after that, and I'm still picking up a pawn. If it's enough or not, well, we're gonna see. And d5, there are other things or not. Knight e5, I take, he takes my bishop. I can't really allow that. So yeah, knight e5 is gonna come, I'm gonna take, knight takes, rook c7. I think he will have to play this knight to f6 to counterattack. And I might just capture this one, which I honestly hadn't seen. But I don't know. I like my rook on c7 and dominating the only open file. So I might just go king d3, except there's some these seats I have to take into account. Maybe these seats, and 98 attacking both. I play rook d7. I might be going a bit too far here. I might be missing a lot of stuff, but it still looks promising. Well, I don't know what he's considering here, if I'm missing something, because he's spending a lot of time on this move, but he has to go knight e5. Or, well, knight b8. I might even pull the bishop back, and what is that knight doing on b8? He has to play this. That's almost required. Wonder what he's thinking about. If he's deciding between these two moves, he's being a little bit too subtle. And you have to go with the one that looks the best. I mean, if I don't trade, he takes on f3, he gets some pieces out of the way and gets a rook to the c file in time. Here, with the knight on b8, I might really pull the bishop back and just invade on c7 regardless. So yeah, I don't know what happened here. His connection looks fine. Better than mine even. Yeah, better than mine. Well, similar. They're both fine. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, he had something in mind. You have to be suspicious when your opponent isn't playing. And that's a really deep conception, even though I'm not convinced. I mean, let's say d takes c. He has to take with the bishop. I don't see anything else. And then bishop to d3. And he takes my pawn on e4. My bishop is pinned, but I still have knight e1. And I'm scrambling to keep my extra piece, but I think I'm succeeding. I mean, how is he supposed to win my piece on d3? Let's calculate that again. D takes c. I don't know if I'm missing anything else, but it doesn't really look like there's any other tricks. I mean, if bishop takes, I have this. This is the key here. Bishop d3. Bishop e5 also runs the same fate, I think. It said maybe my opponent wants to take with the rook, and after knight takes d3, bring in the other rook attacking d3. That'll be that's fairly advanced. That's fairly advanced. I mean, he really has a cunning idea there. So let's say d takes c, bishop takes, bishop d3. I wonder if he can do the same by taking here. Knight e1, rook takes d3, knight takes d3, rook d8, and I can't play rook c3 because he has the bishop there. Oh, that's really nice. And this guy is strong. All right, so then what? What do I do? I mean, if he plays knight e5 on the next move and it changes my knight, I guess that's just fine for him. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed by that move, honestly. I might move the king sideways, knight to e5. I'm not getting anything there. Bishop takes, rook. He can even, yeah, rook takes probably, or he can even take here first. I don't know. Well done. I don't know. Maybe I pull the bishop back as I intended. initially. Bishop to e2 or d3, bishop e2, so I can take back with the bishop if knight e5. Rook to c7. I have knight takes f3, bishop takes f3. Honestly, it looks like he's getting a ton of activity there too. Yeah, it's a tough choice. King e2 looks okay-ish. Nothing spectacular, honestly. I think knight e5, he has to be equalizing there. He has to get an equal game, most likely. So what now? What about something like rook b1? That's just subtle. Knight e5, and after I take, he always has the rook takes, and he's defending that pawn. Yikes. He really made it difficult. So I don't know, bishop e2, knight e5, knight d4, too slow. Yeah, he got me there. I don't see a path to an advantage. I may have to play bishop e2 and get into c7 and see what happens. He might be getting a lot of activity for this, even if I somehow get one of his pawns, and that may be dangerous for me. But his tactics were really spot on there. I'm gonna go for it. He might even play knight g4 and try to get my bishop. With a pair of bishops, he might have compensation for the pawn, but I'm still feeling okay. Of course, I think I have to be more or less fine. It can't be the end of the world, but I thought I had a fantastic position. He came up with this very nice idea. After the game, I'm going to show the actual moves on the board, what I was seeing, and I'm curious if it was all correct because it's kind of complicated, but I think he saw it all the way because he spent a lot of time on it. When your opponent spends a lot of time on his move and he comes up with some move that it was completely unexpected to you, you have to be suspicious. I mean, you have to give him some credit. It might be a blunder. I mean, sometimes it happens. We can think for a long time for a move and then just make a blunder. It happens, but there's some idea to it. It's not like he just came up with it immediately. And if it surprises you, it might be for a very good reason. So you can't just instantly reply thinking, oh, he might just be wrong. Okay, again, what is he going to surprise me with? I thought rook knight takes f3 or something, knight g4 is in order, b6. What is he thinking about? This guy's making me nervous because he's... Oh, okay, what? Again, of course I wasn't expecting that. Now I'm a little bit worried about my rook. I don't see how he's going to get it, besides some knight takes f3, bishop e5. I can still take on e7. Well, this is getting out of hand. Knight d4. Knight d4, so I can take on c6 maybe. I don't know where his knight goes. That's the good news, I guess. I'm going to play it. Have to find a way out for my rook too. I mean, he might just trap my rook at some point. I don't know if I'm threatening this, but it really looks like I am. And the move is a bit weird, even though my pawn is pinned and everything. This is never a threat, I think. Of course, the idea might just be some e6, but now the bishop is just hanging. I guess I can take. I still have to check this out. What happens if he takes and puts a lot of pressure on this guy here? This is a real headache, and then the pin on the d file is really troublesome. It's proven to be quite a big problem for me. So I have to do something about e6 too. And I'm not really sure what that something is. Maybe f4? Maybe bishop g5, though I kind of doubt it. D takes c, knight takes c6. I'm not seeing a way to defend d4 effectively. If rook takes, b takes, I have nowhere to go because if I go king c3, c5, and the knight is lost anyway. This is really tough. I mean, he's spending a lot of time too, which is I don't know if it's a good or bad sign because he keeps coming up with interesting moves. But I'm also considering here e6 bishop g5 attacking the rook. That's kind of a typical idea in the Grunfeld. I see that he has rook d7, rook takes, bishop takes, and he might be okay. Because e6, bishop g5, I don't think he can play f6. I might just go rook takes, king takes g7, knight e6 check, and I take on d8. And that has to be winning or close. So what is he thinking of? Maybe, I think he's checking out this move. Else, I don't know, he can't go rook c8. I'll just trade, and then the bishop is just hanging. There's nothing on the d file. Maybe rook d7. Maybe he can solve everything with this. Don't I have any tactics? I don't think so. I'll have to take. Bishop takes. He still has knight g4. If I go f4, he has knight g4. He attacks this bishop, so I can't just do that. Rook d7, rook takes, bishop takes. That looks like the probably the soundest idea for him, except rook d7. Maybe I go f4, try to trap the knight. Rook takes first. No, he has knight takes. And if pawn takes, I'm still having this problem, except I might have e5. No, he has c5. My knight on d4 is hanging. There's so much going on the d file. It's insanely how, okay, what? Again, this guy's surprising me every move, but I don't think this one is a good move. Maybe if I take here, what is the idea? Knight c5, and then he has an attack on d4. It looks excruciatingly slow, though. I can just take on b7, attacking the rook. And if knight takes c4 check, I guess I just go up. Even though it looks insane to go up, I defend d4 somewhat. The knight is hanging on e4. I'm threatening the rook on a8. What is the idea? I really don't get it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And pawn takes. It's just too slow. I can move my king away. Okay, let's check. Let's check what's the... Okay, instantly he replies with knight b6, but I don't think this is any good for him. At the very least, I'm getting a pawn on b7, pass pawn, protected pass pawn. The best he can go for is getting his piece back, but what good is that going to do to him? And I can just double up, and I might defend this. I don't know, king c3. I'm not even seeing how he gets the piece back, except he has some check here, but king b4 and attack the knight. If bishop takes d4, I take on a4, and that's it, I believe. It's a bit weird to put the king on the same diagonal as that bishop, but it might just work. I'm also considering just playing this. Rook hc1 and just let him take everything here on d4, play king e3, attacking the rook. And my intention is just to go rook c8 and promote that pawn. And if the rook goes back to a8, I have bishop a6, and I'm still intending rook c8, and I think I'm on time. Because if king f8, I go rook c8 anyway. The threat is just to take one of the rooks and bring in the other. And if king e8, I might go rook takes, rook c8 check. I'm getting an extra piece there. I'm simplifying the process. Well, I'm going too far, and I'm not seeing that he has e5 here, which I should definitely not allow. I'm going to play this. That took a lot of time. Sometimes you go deep in line and you just miss something on move 1. I'm missing e5. I'm losing the knight for absolutely nothing. Makes no sense if I'm up a piece. That's a bad thought process mistake on my part. Especially since I've already seen that there's no way for him to get his piece back. Bishop takes d4, I just take. And after check, I just go king c4 probably. And the knight doesn't have any more checks. He goes here, I take. The bishop is dominating the knight. Now 2 squares away from it on the same file, on the same rank in this case. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now I can pull the bishop back, or well, I can even take here. It's probably resignable, but wow, this opponent really came up with a lot of resources. Now I think I can take knight b2 check. I just go king b3. He's clearly running out of checks finally. But he was extremely tricky. I'm really curious about this game. He resigned. All right, let's analyze it for a second here. I just want to take a look at what happened in... Okay, this is all supposed to be theory, and he had to hit the center with f5. Makes sense. After this, bishop e2 is a miss. Oh, I should have taken. Okay. What happens here? D takes. Bishop takes. This is what I had seen. What is the engine saying? Bishop d3. Bishop takes e4. Knight to e1. Rook takes d3 check. This is what I was worried about, and the engine agrees. I only saw up to this point, rook d8, and I thought, hey, he's getting... Oh, okay, I'm up the exchange. I should consider it. It's just that he had so many pawns for it that looks... I honestly didn't realize I was up the exchange, which is really bad on my part. And I was kind of scared. But yeah, here I have an extra exchange, and even though he has 2 pawns for it, apparently my king is fine, and the pin is annoying on the d file. So the engine is giving me some advantage. Not so easy to do, I guess. So after bishop e2, I missed an opportunity to some extent. 95 is bad? What? I thought that was almost mandatory. Knight a5 was better. Well, it might look strange, but in the Grunfeld, this is pretty thematic. The knight goes to a5, always having an eye on a5, and at the same time it's defending the b7 pawn. So that's something. Knight e5, rook c7. Yeah, that's a mistake. That bishop c6 was weird, and knight d4 just allows me to take. Okay, that's fine. Okay, very interesting game. Let's go on to the next one. We are on 2154. Okay, we get a 1969. Let's play e4. This is going to take a lot of time if I keep getting people who are rated like 200 points below me, except if I lose, which can well happen. I'm just going to play the 4 knights, the Spanish 4 knights, if he allows it, and he does. D6, right? Okay, I think this is pretty comfortable for white. Not that I'm completely an expert or anything on this line. I'm going to take with the queen. I'm going to centralize it. He makes me take. I do take. And after b takes, I think e5 could become a problem for black. I can play right away, I guess. I can play right now. Okay, he doesn't care about double pawns. He has the pair of bishops, and that much is true. But I don't know if he can expose his pawns like that so quickly. Now bishop g5 maybe, which is just threat. No, it's not threatening to take maybe because of the pin on the f6 knight. But well, there might be some stuff here. Maybe not right away. But I'm just intending some rook to d1, probably this one, and the other one might go to e1 at the right moment. And I don't like his approach so much, honestly. I think it was kind of passive, and those pawns are just horrible and kind of easy to attack too. I mean, if he had some real counterplay for the double pawns, and he might get it in some lines because of the pair of bishops, then, well, it could be, but here it looks a bit sketchy. Of course, I have to be careful now. There are some discord attacks on the queen. If I go queen f4, there might be some knight h5, and my bishop is also hanging. So what do I do now? Where do I go? c4, queen c4, bishop e6 now. Queen d2, queen e3, queen e3, queen e3. He might still go here. I have bishop takes e7, knight takes e3, bishop takes d8, knight takes f1, the bishop escapes, and the knight, well, who knows. The bishop is hanging here too. That one is interesting. I'm gonna go with a simple one. I can't calculate all this, honestly. Not in a 10-minute game. Queen d2. Reasonable, I think. The only thing I wasn't sure is, Okay, bishop e6, I had this and I had the check here. Bishop d6, fine, I guess I have to go knight c4. And now this is rather annoying. I might go knight d5, except I have to be careful with, I always have to be careful with those discovered attacks. Okay, bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes d6 is interesting. I can also start with knight takes, but queen takes, I'm not so sure. Well, maybe I'm winning a pawn there. I don't know if it's enough. I'm really thinking about this. Queen takes, knight takes d6. C takes d6, queen takes, that has to be an advantage. He does have some counterplay. That bishop on e6 is really strong. Not so easy. Bishop takes f6, no, knight takes d6, queen takes d6 is really annoying to me. I really don't want to face queen takes d6. Because queen takes, c takes, bishop takes, g takes, knight e4. Yeah, I'm winning a pawn there. Oh, d5, I can capture this one. That's more interesting. I thought I had to capture one on d5 and leave on f6 and leave these two alive. No, that's more promising. If I can capture this one after queen takes, c takes. Okay, he took with the c pawn. That's a bit weird. I can just freely apply pressure on f6 itself. If he plays here, I just have to take anyway. Now I really like this position for white. I don't know if I should have allowed this so easy. I might have had to play rook 81 first, but well, didn't matter. He's just going for this endgame anyway, and I think I'm capturing one of these two. I was kind of worried about d5, knight takes f6, king g7, because the 2 pawns on the center and my knight had to go back with some weird maneuver. He might get counterplay here, but if d5, I can just take on c5, which is good for me. That looks like a free pawn. I can defend that knight with rook fd8, or rook fd1, or rook ad1, rook fd1 maybe. Gonna need this one here. I don't know if he can ever take, but just in case. Okay, what am I doing with this knight? I have to go back to safety. Even though I don't see how he interferes. It's not like he can just play some bishop d5. And if he goes rook e4, now I can just play knight e4 and rook d7. I'm sorry, knight e4, and I can just offer some rook trades. I'm attacking this pawn. Not entirely easy. This endgame isn't just an easy win for white, not even close. What worries me is that if I go here, he might want to play something like rook cd8, rook takes, knight takes c5, rook d2. Oh, but I can exchange the bishop with check and defend here. No, he can't. Okay, I'm playing this anyway, in any case. If that's the case, I can just play this. Rook takes. Okay, didn't expect that. Okay, well, that one makes sense. Fits in my pawn there. If I play b3, then he gets rid of a relatively weak c pawn. I just want to take here and just get my extra pawn and go for the pure rook endgame, because my rook is already on an open file, and I think I might be doing well here. I don't know if I have to take or if I should play b3, but for simplicity's sake, I will just take. Maybe rook d7, check first, and only then b3. If not, he might just shut me off. Okay, should I take with the a pawn? No, rook c8 attacks the pawn. c4, he goes back to b4. It's kind of annoying there. I would take here because I'm attacking this already. Okay, he wants to checkmate me. No. Rook c1, I'm coming here. And if a5, okay, rook a7, he has rook c5. I'm still playing it because I want to have the rook tied down to some extent. Okay, let's improve the king slowly. e5, king f3. If check, I go to e4. And if he goes rook c2, I'm capturing this one. I guess I'm much faster. So I'm going to take my opportunity and get the king to the center as I should. King f5, okay, he starts advancing. I will just keep getting closer. If I can get in here somehow, okay, he's pushing me there. Now the rook isn't getting in, and my king is active, close to my pawns. I can play 3 before and finally start advancing. Okay, he's in kind of a weird way. He's just making me improve my king somewhat. Rook d2, I'm just taking, and if he takes on f2, I'm just taking this one. And e4, he will play e4. That's a good one. Okay, if he takes, I'm gonna take, and my b pawn should decide the game. Can also play b4, e4. I don't know why I would have that. b5, e3, king d3, d2, e2, king d2, and my pawn seems way faster. This is more simple though. Even if he were to get these two, my pawn is already going up. Let's see. b4, he takes. b5. Oh, some h4. Do I have to allow that? Maybe I made a mistake here. h4, rook g2, rook 2, e3. I'm keeping that king away at least. Might be making some mistakes in this rook, and this wasn't great technique on my part. So what, rook e3? Do I defend that, or do I just push? No, I shouldn't push because he's gonna take, check, take here. I can't allow that. I'm gonna go. Oh, I might insert this check because I make him go back, and only then I play rook e3. So his king is a little worse. That's a very typical thing. And if f4, this time I have rook f3. I really like that. I still have after f4, I have this. So I'm gonna start pushing finally. It took forever, but now I'm going for it. King d5, rook b2. I'm gonna go to c5. So if another check, I go into b6, and finally I'll start pushing that pawn. Okay, that can't be good. Now with the passive rook, I don't think he can go for that much check. I'm gonna go up, check. I'm gonna go to d7 because I can put the rook behind the pawn. That's usually a simple win. Now rook behind the pawn advances easily. Finally, that king is getting somewhere, but I'm just pushing. f4, well, I just take. King c7, this pawn is gonna cost him a rook. And I'm defending the pawn with a check, so I'm just getting his rook for nothing now. Okay, I'm getting the check first, so I don't have to calculate anything. And finally making a queen. And if he takes, I take with the king, and that's it. Okay. I'm kind of curious about the endgame, honestly. I think I played quite suspicious. Okay, knight c5 was a mistake. Okay, tiny mistakes. Rook a7, the engine really hates this move. It kind of makes sense because his rook is more active than mine. So what did I have to do according to this? Just go back to d4 and put it maybe on a4 if rook to c2. Oh, it's okay. Let's see if I threw the advantage at any point. Apparently he can hold this endgame if he plays extremely well, but it's not that easy. And after this, what is his mistake really? h4, king g2, rook e6, king f7, rook e3, king f6 was the mistake. He had to play rook f2, threatening f4. It's changing a lot of pawns. Well, easy to miss, honestly. Not that easy. Okay, well played. That was a tough game. Okay, 22-75. I'm getting someone that's higher rated than me here. That's good. Let's play the... What am I going to play? The Nimzo or the Queen's Gambit? Let's play Queen's Gambit. I don't know why I'm pre-moving that because he's not going to take. Okay, I just play regular Queen's Gambit. Oh, he plays it with Bishop F4. I don't know much about this except I can castle and play C5. This is like the fashionable way of facing this. If D takes C, I think Queen A5. Why can't I make arrows? Okay, there it is. E takes D. E takes D. Okay, that's also fine. I think after knight takes, I have to take with the pawn. I get the isolated pawn, but quite a lot of activity for it. D takes C, bishop takes, then I'll be threatening the check. But he plays A3. I thought the main line was D takes, bishop takes, forcing me to keep this isolated pawn, and only then A3. I don't know how this changes the equation. I'm just going to go knight C6. I might have had this extra option, though I don't know the line, so I'm not going to do anything strange. Bishop E2. Now I'm really tempted to go C4 and see what happens. Probably not the greatest. Now I would try to get a hold of the light squares. And his plan should probably be to break on E4 in the long run. I don't see that it's going to be really easy at all. Knight E5 is probably coming. I can exchange and play B5, I assume. At least my plan is rather clear. Okay, that's kind of strange. C3, he has bishop D3, and my pawn might be in trouble. I'm just going to play the normal move and defend. And if he gives me a passed pawn, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, I guess I have to defend with A6, and each of the pawns is defending. I don't know if he wants to really fight with me on the queen side. I mean, I have more space there. I have knight b4 coming in. I'm not convinced of White's strategy. He might still go knight to e5, but now I'm really tempted to go knight b4. Then I can kick that knight out of there, and I have things like c3 coming. And he better watch out for that pawn. I don't know if this was his best strategy. You normally don't put up the fight where you're actually that much worse, where you are restricted in this case. And he probably had to play somewhat more central chess. 95 was really looking like the normal way to deal with this. Now I don't know if he intends to take everything. I'm happy with what I've seen. I'm really happy about this. And if he just stays put, I'm honestly thinking about this. Okay, knight e5 does make sense. I can react in two ways. I can take and I like my position on the queen side. I have a passed pawn that's I'm almost sure that one is staying there. And I might just go for that. Knight b4 looks really tempting. I'm just threatening bishop c2, capturing this pawn. So he might take on c4 and then play something like rook c1 to stop it. I have f6. I think I'm complicating matters unnecessarily. And this should be okay. And more than okay. c3. I'm intending to give up this pawn. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit too early because he still has this bishop d3 that I found somewhat annoying at first. And bishop takes, queen takes. I can get a passed pawn there, but I have to close everything in order to do that. Yeah, maybe I was a bit too hasty. And I will just play queen d7. Just try to get the rook to c8. I like my position still, but maybe I shouldn't have just rejected complexity just because. Knight a5 was also an idea. Okay, he tries to make e4 happen. I kind of doubt that's gonna happen though. I think of bishop d6 and then put pressure on e3 too. Even though that's my good bishop and his isn't, his bishop on my other bishop is supposed to be my bad bishop, and I'm exchanging the good one. I think I'm just getting rid of an obstacle, and I can start attacking that pawn. Okay, he clearly wants to get rid of my pawn on c4, and he's doing it quite well, I believe. I kind of had to take. Honestly, I didn't think it was coming so quickly, and if bishop e6, he might go e5, queen b4, take on c4, and he's gonna start pushing his f-pawn. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Maybe it wasn't the absolute best. I'm sure it wasn't. Okay, that's weird because I can get a pass pawn here. Let's see if he allows it or if he's gonna take now, which is probably what he should be thinking of. Oh, but there are some crazy tactics here. Pawn takes, bishop takes. And if bishop takes e4, bishop takes g2, king takes g2, check, and I recover the bishop, but there's also f takes, bishop takes c4, bishop takes g2, bishop takes f7, check, rook takes f7. His king is going to be more exposed though, I believe. Okay, he just took. I'm gonna go e3. Clearly, I have to do something with that pawn. I'm liking my chances, but I don't think I played this all too well up to this point. Now I like my chances because my pass pawn looks very strong. I'm not sure it's decisive or anything, but I do have an initiative. Oh, I missed this. I missed that he had this coming, but d4 is also hanging. So I missed. This is what I missed. Queen b3, rook e7. Rook takes e3 because I didn't see that it was defended. But I can take on d4 and attack both of these. And it looks good for me, though it's just a shot of luck. I mean, I didn't see that. Okay, so I don't know what to expect. Queen b3 looks like such a natural move that it has to be checked. Let's say rook e7, rook a to d1. Defending d4, then rook b8, attack the queen. That looks promising again. I'm not entirely clear or anything, but promising, definitely. I don't know what he's considering now. Maybe, well, blockading the pawn doesn't seem urgent because I can't move forwards. Okay, I have to defend f7. That's almost certain. And now he's going to defend the pawn. I don't see anything else. I don't think capturing on e3 is that safe. I can take and even pile up on the pawn. That makes more sense. That one really makes sense. Okay, I'm going to push the queen out of there and activate the rook. Maybe I should have considered that with some more care. Let's see, queen c3. I can follow him around. The rook is defended, I guess. And I don't know, he can't really take here. Rook takes, queen takes, and if I take on c4, this is not checkmate. I can always go back. But it's getting complex. that much is true. It's getting complex. Where's the queen going though? Where is his queen going if it's not c3? That's a question I hadn't asked before, and it's very important. The queen a2 keeps an eye on f7, but it's kind of uncomfortable, isn't it? Let's play rook b4 maybe. Rook b4. At least it looks active. I don't know if it's that great. And queen a3, a5, and I just keep the rook there, which is really important. And everything is defended. I still have the better chances due to that pawn. I just have to avoid dropping it for free, and I think I'm gonna be fine. As we climb the ladder, it's going to get increasingly difficult. This game is the proof of that. What? Okay. I'm getting surprised by a lot of my opponent's moves in this session. What is that about? I kind of don't get it at all. If I just ignore it and just make room for my king to escape background checkmates with some g6. His idea can't be g4. I don't believe that. I'm gonna play it. I could play h6, but I think, or h5 even. Well, I don't like the looks of it. It's hard to decide sometimes if you're gonna go h6, h5, because this might enable some h4, h3. Anyways, I'm escaping any background checkmates now. Bishop e4, I don't know what this was about, because bishop e4 I'm just taking and I don't see the point. And the second the bishop is pulled out of there, this is hanging. It was a very strange piece arrangement by my opponent, for sure. Queen b6 now, attacking d4. Attacking d4, and it's not that easy to defend. If a5, queen b5, we're having an eye on this 2. Again, it's not like I'm seeing a refutation or anything to his plans, but let's go for it. I'm just going for this pawn. It's gonna have a hard time defending that, because as I'm now seeing, this is hit very hard by the rook takes d4. Ouch, that one that's very pretty. If a takes b6, sorry, rook takes d1, ends in checkmate. Pawn e3 is just got in f2. So he has some real background problems. a5 is off limits. This is not something that I'm only picking up on it now. So how does he defend d4? Queen a1 looks horrible. Maybe it's necessary, but it's hard to trust a move like that. So queen a1, I just played rook d7, I guess. I'm taking on d4 regardless. e3 is going to be indirectly defended, because there are going to be tactics on this diagonal for sure. So yeah, I think he's in trouble now, unless I'm missing something very concrete. I'm not seeing how he defends. It's funny that a move like queen a3 might get hit with queen takes d4, rook takes d4 enables checkmate on the back rank, and he can't recover it. Okay, that's a bad sign for my opponent. I think I have to take. He takes immediately, and he just drops a pawn. Now, which one is the question? Both look fine to be taken. I'm going to take the d4 pawn, because I don't want any passers. Just give me that one. I don't want any kind of trouble. And e4 is an easy target still. So, yep, there it is. And oh, wait a second. Rook takes e4 looks completely fine, probably entirely winning. What about rook d2 though? I'm just trying to make him take so I can play e2 check, and if king h1, then I'm checkmating. The problem is he has queen c4. As far as I see, this is the problem. Queen goes to c4, defends the rook on e2. What if I play rook c7 anyways? The queen can't keep itself in touch with the rook on e2. I'm going for this. I might be trying to be too smart here for my own good, but the fact is it's looking very promising. Maybe he has to do something, queen a3, counter-attacking here, but I can just take queen c4. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Rook c7. I don't see how he keeps the queen in touch with the rook. He's definitely dropping that. And if not, the queen barely has any moves. The queen's trapped? What? Just seeing that the queen is trapped on c4. I thought he might go somewhere. No, he's just dropping the queen. That's insane. I thought he had to go somewhere and I would just pick up this rook, but it looks like I'm trapping the queen. He can still play a5, I guess, but I can just pick this one up. A takes b6 and I take on e2, and that has to be more than enough. I can stop the pawn with any of the rooks. And most likely that's what's gonna happen, because he will see that there are no queen moves, and either he resigns or he tries this. Even that is hopeless. I can just take and the rook is still hanging. I don't think there's any reasonable tries anymore. So he's going to spend the remainder of his time trying to look for... Okay, now. Okay, interesting game. Complex. I think I made some bad mistakes. Okay, 2163. I think I should have kept the knight and just go knight b4, knight a5. I was kind of scared of the knight on e5. Okay, d4. I'm going to play a London. I'm going to play London this time if my opponent allows me to do that, which is not a certainty at all. Or at least I will have to play knight off against the g6 lines. Oh, okay, I thought that was what was going to happen. And now we're gonna get a regular. Okay, yeah, he wasn't. Move order was kind of weird. He wasn't sure of what to play. As far as I saw, I'm not really that certain about all the move orders here. That I wasn't expecting. Okay, queen b3 maybe. I'm gonna get queen b6. No, d takes c. Really? Okay. What if I just take it and try to keep the pawn? I'm gonna be extremely greedy here, and I think I may get away with it. The pawn on c5 is not only the fact that I get the pawn, it restricts the bishop a lot if I can get it defended. Though I might be missing something because, well, for one thing, I don't know the line, but I think I can take on b7, and he doesn't have rook b8 due to the bishop being on f4. So if he takes on c5, I'm just capturing b7, and it looks like I'm more than fine. I think he missed something. Okay, he's gonna take, I'm gonna take too. With the knight, so I have this protected, and if I can just move the bishop somewhere, not sure if g5 or g3. Okay, e6 then. Now what, knight f3 looks, I don't know if mandatory, but pretty close in any case. Oh, I missed this. My God, that can't be bad. That can't be good. I completely missed that. That was really bad. I don't know if there was something, probably, but I'm gonna play 95 then, and well, he's probably just fine here. I'm attacking the bishop, so he has to take, and I take back. And I don't know if I'm really threatening bishop b5, but I will try to make something of that, I guess. I think it's not going to be great. And f6 was also fine, probably. Now bishop... Oh, what? He blundered bishop on g4. He completely forgot about that. Unless he's trapping my knight. I don't think so. I'll just take. No, he's not trapping it. If h5, I'm knight back to e5. Okay, yeah, he just missed it. That was unlucky. That was really unlucky. And now he's trying to restrict my pieces and get this one. Okay, now I have to be careful. I'll play f3 so I can get back to f2, and the bishop goes back to g3. And once I finally unravel here, I will be up a piece. e5, bishop g3. Oh no, my God, I'm blundering left and right. And see h5, knight f2, h4 traps the bishop back. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Time to regroup. My God. Okay. I'm gonna get a pawn for my efforts. Give me that one. I mean, if knight f2, h4, I didn't see that. That's insane. Okay, bishop b5. What's happening then? I'm up a pawn with a pair of bishops, and he has some weaknesses on d5. That's kind of easy to attack, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it's still more than fine, but I have to admit that it's kind of annoying to to miss all that stuff. So queenside castle. If a6, I'm just taking here. No, he takes. Tough. And rook takes d5, he takes, he's always making some annoying threat. Okay, bishop f2. a6, my idea was to take on d5, and I'm missing a lot of stuff. A takes b, threatens the check with a skew, and he's taking my rook. So after a6, I kind of have to go back, I guess. And then he gets to defend like this. Well, I could have taken and push d4 because d5 is so pinned, and I still can win the pawn d5 if knight e7. I guess e4 wins it, though this is full of surprises for me. Yeah, I'm getting another pawn probably. Unless I'm missing something, which is very possible at this point. I mean, I won a piece, I dropped a piece back, I'm trying to get to 2200, but it's going really slow and it's hard. I mean, it's getting harder and harder as we progress. Okay, 6 minutes. He has 6 minutes on his clock, and he already made a ton of mistakes, and only now he's trying to hold on to his pawn, or else he's going to be down 2 pawns. That happens often. I mean, you play real fast, you blunder, and then you start thinking when it's too late already. Okay, he's giving it up anyway because there's no choice. He has some other problems. If bishop check, I finally get my king somewhere safe. Okay, he goes with the other check. I think he should have gone with bishop check because now I'm threatening bishop takes g7, and also it comes with a discovered attack. Okay, if bishop takes g7, now the problem is rook takes and he attacks this too. I don't know if I want that kind of counterplay, but I have bishop c4. Ouch. And now bishop takes g7 is serious. He's gonna drop some more material here. Rook f8. I just take on g7 with a discovery attack on the bishop on d6 and also attacking the rook. So he's gonna lose a ton of material. And yeah, it's resignable, I think. And if he takes, just takes an extra exchange with 2 extra pawns. Okay, yeah, a lot of blunders there. But we are closing in, and it's 2169. Now we get David Bowie fan Space Oddity. It's our opponent. Okay, he plays the Joe Baba stuff. I will keep playing classical. I don't want any trouble. I really don't like to allow these lines, even though it's fine. I usually play a6 here. I just get rid of that pawn and just play classical stuff. c5, knight c6. It's principle, at least. Okay, he wants to keep this one. I don't think he can, if I remember correctly. I have e5 here. And after he moves the bishop, I can take, actually, because if knight takes, I have this little trick. I have the check, so I will go for that. If bishop takes, of course, and now I have to take with the pawn because I need to have this resource, or else I just drop the bishop on c5. But I do have the resource this time around, so I'm happy. Knight takes, check. Okay, what happened here? I have the center, my pawns are somewhat ruined, but I have a very big center advantage, and I might just castle on the queens. I just dropped the pawn, I didn't realize. Okay, that was bad. Rook g8. Oof, now I can't even castle. Okay, we are hitting a low here. I'm really suffering this session. What do I do now? And queen d6 is kind of sad, but I can't play rook g6. I allow the check and I drop this. Very tough decision. What if I try to go for an endgame? Let's say I play queen e7. Is that too bad? Probably not what I was dreaming of. Queen b6. Queen b6 attacking b2. Knight takes c5. I have everything covered. f7 is covered. I can take on b2. And well, I don't know if I play this, he just castles. Then what? Because even though it looks risky for him to castle queen side, it has to be said that my king is stuck in the center, and I don't see any way of getting it out of there. So yeah, it's not the easiest decision. I might try to go for that endgame, even though I'm down a pawn, but I will try to play with the compensation of me having some extra space and the semi-open files. It shouldn't be enough, but I'm going to try to make the most of it. G3. Rather weakening, isn't it? I'm not too convinced. Okay, maybe the rook isn't doing much on the G file any longer. But where do I put it? I guess I will just start pushing, even though the knight looks kind of shaky there. It might not have been the greatest move ever. F6. So I free my knight to go somewhere else. Knight a5. I'm gonna get the rook out of here first. At least I don't think it's entirely easy for him. He's going in here. I don't like that. What if b4? Can I do that? Pawn takes, knight takes. I would love that, but that won't happen. Knight c5, b takes c, b takes c, and something knight a5. Let's make things complicated, but he can take here and he has some checks. Do it. I will do it. I will do it anyways. Because knight takes, king takes, I will have f5 anyway. So let's try. Let's try our luck here. Takes, check. I go f5. Now he has to deal with this, more or less. Of course, this is not the position I was dreaming of, but okay, he plays for activity. That's fine, but I don't know if it's correct. I mean, it's principle, you could say. For the time being, I get my pawn back. If check, I have rook c6. Well, yeah, this went well. I think he gave it back for no reason. Well, I'm gonna take the b5, of course. I have to. Okay, that's kind of risky, I think. Where is that king going? Can I check here? Pawn takes, knight takes. The knight on d4 is very good. I think so, at least. He will have some counterattack with f4. Pawn takes. I can take with the pawn king d3, and if I move the knight, I'm losing this, unless I'm missing some tactic. I'll take. And what? f4. Okay, that's good. f4 is good. I will check, and he has to undermine this. That's strange, though. What if I go to c2? It's gonna check me. King d6. But my rook is way more active. Now if he moves the rook, he's dropping h2. I also have an eye on h2. His play wasn't so convincing, I think. King d5 has no bishop check, so I will do it because it improves my king, and I want to play e4. Like he's not afraid. I mean, you have to give him that. He's not afraid of sending the king to a very awkward position. I'm going to sacrifice that pawn because mine is getting really far. May not be enough, but I'm seeing this, and then I don't know, rook d2, rook d1. Okay, he just dropped the bishop. That's a relief. That's a big relief. And well, I can stop that pawn in many ways, I think. Check first. So I separate him from the pawn. Well, nice is it's check. It's almost checkmate. I don't know how, but it's almost checkmate. Rook e4. I will do the easy thing. Just capture the pawn on a5 and go after my own pawn and just winning his rook, and he has to resign here. Yes. Making a queen. Okay, he will continue apparently. Yeah, no, he resigned. Okay, tough endgame. It was hard for him too because he had a lot of space and some compensation because of that. Maybe not enough. Okay, almost 2100. I'm still going with d4. I'll play this weird little line without c4. h6. h6, really? I thought c6 was the move here. Well, bishop f4. If g5, I always have this. This is really weakening. He might go knight f6 here and be alright, but well, it's not like this is something that I'm completely aware of. You really like to see your opponent move some pawns on the king side like this, especially in openings like the Dutch. And if he does it really early. So I guess I have to be somewhat happy here, though I don't know what my piece arrangement is going to be just yet. The bishop is most likely going to d3. And then he will have to decide if he plays e6 or g6 finally. If he plays e6, yeah, he's playing it in a Stonewall Dutch style. I'm gonna go 95 and just making him push probably. I don't know if it's gonna happen. At least I think I made him somewhat uncomfortable. That's what I thought, but this move is kind of annoying, I have to agree. Because he was threatening 94. So I better get rid of that. Bishop d3. No, I'm gonna go 95. I'm disregarding some opening principles here. I don't know if that's the wisest decision. 94, I was thinking c4. Now I may be getting into some trouble with c5. The queen check coming. Ew. Okay. Knight g6. Now that knight is returning in any case, so I can't be too worried about that, I guess. I shouldn't. Rook e8, bishop d3. I'm gonna go bishop d3, yes. 94, bishop d3. Rook e8, sorry, bishop d3. Or rook f7, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. 94. I'm really thinking about giving this one up. Okay. Makes sense. He wants to play c4 and make my bishop look really bad, really absurd. I will play c4 even if I have to endure some hardship here. But I just have to do it. I don't think I can allow c4 or I should. Maybe I can. I mean, I still have breaks like f3, g4, but this looks good. I mean, it's not like he's completely developed or anything. He still has some issues. The knight on d7 is not the most active piece in the world, so I might play like this. Queen a5, I'm thinking of not trading queens with queen d2, but just voluntarily resigning my castling rights and just keep attacking. Maybe I can castle by hand later on. Okay, c4, d takes, bishop takes, that's it. Attacking e6. What is his idea now? I mean, if he... Okay, he gave the check, that's fine. If he didn't, I would castle, of course. So that check seems to be sensible. It takes... I'm really hoping for this, even though I'm almost sure it won't happen. And knight b6. Well, knight b6 attacks the bishop, defense e6 after that. That might be reasonable, but I can just drop back here and again the knight on b6, I don't know how good it is, and 94, okay. f3, or I can take first. I honestly don't know which one is best. I'm inclined to take, but after it takes, I will have to be vigilant of these two. Oh, but there's a check here. Oh my god. So I will take. So I will take because the check is extremely annoying as far as I can see. Will he take or will he surprise me? No, he can't play c4. I'm threatening d takes c. So yeah, he has to take. f3, knight d2, king e2. Okay, c4, I just take and win a pawn. Okay, get out of there. And knight c3, I have queen e1. My queen is jumping to the king side. This is pinned. Where's that knight going? Knight c3, queen e1. I was thinking of c4, but then bishop takes f5, because if rook takes, I have the check, and then I win the rook back. That's an idea. That's an idea if the knight moves away. And he will have to move it. Maybe he can start with c4, which is kind of nuanced. But I can take, and if he takes, I can ignore that pawn, just push. And the pawn e5 will be very strong and threatening his seats. Okay, I think this is a hard decision for him. This is a very, very hard decision for him. Knight c3. I have queen e1, pinning the knight to the queen, and also threatening this little trick here. Bishop takes, rook takes, check. Just luring him into this fork and then winning the rook back. So yeah, there are some problems defending everything, defending f5, defending the knight at this point. I don't know where it's going. Maybe he can try to counterattack my own knight. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Counterattacking my knight with queen b6. That's clever. And it may solve some of his problems at the very least. Knight e5 takes, I take, and then his knight is safe for now because of this spin. That was really good. That queen b6, I think, is the way to pose some serious problems. I'm honestly even thinking of going back, but I don't think that will work out. I would just play the normal stuff. And after knight takes e5, I may have to take with the pawn. No, g5 will come. I would do the reasonable thing, or what looks like the reasonable thing to do, and take with the bishop. But he's off the hook, the sense that there are no problems with f5 any longer. He defended well there. He found a nice resource. Knight c3, I will take on c5 probably. Then I have d4 for the bishop. I'm attacking his queen. Or I can play queen e1 or queen d2. Queen e1 probably. So what am I doing with this? With this situation? I may go h4, rook h3, rook g3 to bring one more attacker to the party. I will take, because I really don't want him to push my bishop back to this passive square, because I have d4 for the bishop. It's very well defended there. No one can push it back. And now, yeah, I might go with this plan, h4, rook h3, rook g3. The queen can also join. I will have to make a decision there, but his pieces are just horrible. Most especially this bishop. What he might have is this knight jump at some point, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stay there for too long, because knight e4, I can't take because f takes is check, and then he captures my bishop. But if knight e4, I'm intending to just sidestep, and then I will be really threatening to take. And if knight g3, I can just go rook h3, attack that knight, and it's just bouncing back and forth, I think. Might be missing this though. Oops, f4, attacking the rook and defending the knight. Okay. If knight here, then queen e1 maybe? Stopping knight g3 for the time being. I don't think any of this is the end of the world, but I did miss that. Okay, f4. f4, and trust f4. And what is the idea even? It takes knight h5 maybe, threatening to enter g3 and to get the pawn back. Okay, that is good. Do I have to take? I'm seriously thinking of bishop g6 first, so I just don't allow any of that. How safe it is though, it's yet to be seen. He may go rook e7 and then I take, but he doesn't have knight h5 anymore, which I like. And I'm not seeing any tricks here for now. Rook e7 I will take. I still have c3 to support the bishop, so I guess that's gonna be more or less alright. Well, that's a pawn, and if I can fit that bishop there and trap this one virtually on c8, I might be fine. Okay, what did I miss? Can't I just capture this? Okay, it was really, that really was his idea, but not the moment, clearly. G6, I'm getting out. I'm exchanging this. I think I just missed it. That was weird. Queen c4, I sidestep, go away, and I'm probably fine. And oh yeah, it's just an extra piece. Nice. Okay, that was good. That was good. Okay, 2183, close. Okay, I get a 2200 opponent. Let's stick to the Sicilian. It's pretty classical. Don't know much about the classical. I wanted to play. I really want to play the Taimano. I didn't get to play the Taimano. I'm gonna play the Taimano. That is my line. C4. What I like about Taimano is that C4 is not as threatening. It's harder for white to build up the Maroczy structure and just be comfortable because I have this quick pin on the c3 knight with a ton of pressure on e4, and if f3, which is what he'll want to do, I would just blow the center up with d5. Now I just take, and if e5, I always have knight e4. After this, I like this structure where he has some dark square weaknesses. White can definitely play this. This is theoretical, it's fine, but it feels comfortable. Now I have bishop d4 in any case because knight a4. I have bishop d4, and I might even just play c5 and get a very good bishop there. His plan is usually to exchange what's my by far best minor piece. So queen e2. Okay, e3 is not a move I'm really impressed about because if b4 I'm getting here anyway, so I get the time to play h6 or castle or whatever. I will play h6 because I don't want to see bishops g5 after I castle, so I will play h6 first, then castle, and probably fine. Okay, knight e2, that's an idea. It stops bishop d4, so his idea is probably to play b4. I'm going to stop it for now. Okay, that's also reasonable. Wait a minute, can't I just go queen b6 here? If b4, 8 takes, rook takes a1, queen takes a1, and I just take on b4? Is that so? Definitely trying. I'm definitely gonna try that. And knight g4 is something to worry about. Maybe he has some queen e1, bishop e1, and I'm way too optimistic here. But as far as I see, it's getting interesting. So if not, I might just, if nothing of this ends up happening, a4 might be a thing. This is good though, because now I don't have that idea. I don't have a4 any longer. I will just play bishop d4 then. Knight a4, I will surely drop back. Where? I'm uncertain. c7 looks like the logical square, and b4 is still not there. The rook is hanging on a1. The bishop on d4, well, I really like this piece, of course. And if bishop c3, okay, that's kind of annoying because I wanted to play c5. It's really principle and everything. Well, if he takes, I can take back, and he still doesn't have a maneuver like knight c3 and the knight coming here because I have the pawn there. I'm gonna play c5. The bishop looks really good here, honestly. I want to play d6, finish my development. I'm not in a hurry to castle just yet because the king is okay there for time being, but I will soon want to castle. Okay, now I get the time. He wants to play a4, but that weakens more dark squares. I don't think he can even. Not at this point. He doesn't even have enough support for that. So I think I'm in a good position here. This knight is not getting back easily. He may have to pull back just to go knight c3, but I can play some rook b8, attacking b2. I shouldn't shy away from bishop b7 though. I didn't even think of it, but that almost certainly forces f3, which makes my bishop look even better. I might enable this maneuver with knight h5 to go to f4 because the pawn f3 interferes with the queen. b3, okay. Kind of slow. I will just play these seats, because now I can think of stuff like knight to g4, bishop g4. So I really want to jump to the king side now. Okay, he took that way. I'm gonna take with c-points a more principal one. Just all the pawns in the center. Knight b2. I thought this was coming. And I might get to stop it now. Rook b8 first, so b4 is harder to play. And I really feel like my knight should be aimed at c5. Yes, it is. I really should go here. Now I really have a color advantage. I mean, I have total control of the dark squares. Okay, that's good. He's intending knight d3, but I think he has a problem with the e4 pawn. If I go knight c5, this was a nice intention, but if I take, then what? I mean, then threatening knight c3. Okay, that might not be all that simple, really. If knight here, knight takes c5. I thought knight c3 attacking the queen, but queen d3, there's a battery here. He's threatening checkmate. I'd just be making a mistake there. Or he can even take the pawn, attack my knight. Knight d3, I didn't see this one coming. Still, I have the better bishop, and his bishop is just horrible. Terrible piece. But I really want to keep the knights, and my knight is fairly superior to his, and I don't want to exchange those pieces off. So if knight d3, I might well go knight a6, even though it looks so weird. And my intention is just to play bishop e7, attack e4, and make him weaken himself even more. I really don't want to have to play that, but it may go that way. He has to play knight d3 here, I believe. Else I might... I don't know how I stop it anyway, but I might still... I might just get too much pressure against b3, and it might be too late for him at some point, like queen b7, queen b6. So I'm wondering what he's thinking about. He might be calculating this stuff with knight e4. Okay, he decides he won't do that, but what about this one? It's just hanging there. Now I can just take on b3. And yeah, my knight was better and everything, but that's a pawn, and this is weak after that. I have this very nice passed pawn. This is a clear target, so yeah, I guess this is definitely going my way. Well, he kind of has to take, or I go back and still targeting all the weak pawns. So bishop takes b3 is kind of necessary for him. Not beautiful, but at the same time, this is by far his worst piece. So I don't think he should let my knight live and keep himself with this horrible piece. Yeah, that was just a blunder. Sometimes you think for a long time and then you just blunder a pawn or piece on one move. Knight did... I mean, just going back until he makes a move. His objective here should be to trade knights. Because at least I'm not jumping through all the dark squares with the knight, highlighting how bad this bishop is. Now, again, he should play this probably, but then this time it's different. I'm just up a pawn, and I will play bishop e6, and most likely c4 will fall shortly. Yeah, he needed to take care of that knight. Now there's not much, because if knight takes, I even take with the queen, I attack the rook, I attack the c4 pawn. He's dropping one more. Oh, wait a minute. Guy is resourceful. Yeah, he wants to go queen g4. If I just take bishop takes c4, queen g4, he might not have enough. He probably doesn't, honestly. After g6, I don't think he's checkmating me anytime soon. But should I take that risk? I don't know if I should. I probably will. Bishop takes. There's also this idea. Queen g4 check. King h8. Queen h5. He's really trying to give a perpetual. I honestly don't think he gets it. I will just take. I don't think it's risky. I don't even think it's risky because he doesn't get a perpetual there. And queen g4, g6. That's it. If queen h4, I might just even capture here. With g6, I have to play. Okay, makes sense. I'm really thinking of bishop e6, which is kind of a heartbreak for him. And then I captured the rook on h3, and that's it. With the queen on its own, he's not getting anything. There it is. Okay, 2192. So far, so good. We get a similarly rated opponent. If we win here, oh, I hit 2200 exactly. Let's play something aggressive for our last game. The Benko Gambit. And let's try to get compensation on the open files. Okay, this is a subtle opponent. This line might look quiet, but it's so annoying. White just wants to make himself strong on the light squares. He should wait, I think, knight f3. I don't know if this is... Oh, no, this is good because he's not wasting any time. It's just taking here. Okay, he really knows what he's doing. And probably not. This is a great version of the main line for him because in the main line, I'm the one who takes and he has to take with the king and he has to sort out that problem with his king for some moves. Here he managed to trade the bishops to win the pawn and he castled. So I don't think I played this all too well, honestly. But the good thing about the Benko is you always get this kind of typical long-term compensation. So white has to be very precise to show that you're in really, really bad shape. And it's kind of the play is kind of intuitive for black in a sense. I don't think there's much to worry here yet, but something to pay attention to. I want him to move the pawns forwards, give me some targets. He probably wants to put them on light squares and put a knight here on b5. I still have the knight coming to c7 though, which is good. Which is good because I'm not getting blockaded like with some easy a4 and knight b5. Now I really want to get the queen out of there. Okay, he's seeking some exchange. Oh, I was gonna make a big mistake. I'm just dropping the pawn. No, I'm going to b6 then. And yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing really fine here because if knight takes, then I take back with the bishop. He plays bishop to c3 and he's exchanging some very important pieces. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing, honestly. I will, no matter what, sorry, I will blockade the pawns. I can still take with the queen, fortunately. And now my plan is to go rook b to a8, and I have this target here. And that's one funny thing about the Benko, that even though you might be down a pawn for a long time, your pawn doesn't really want to go for an endgame because in rook endgames the compensation is huge. I mean, my rooks are way more active than his. I don't even have to rush it here. I can double up. The pressure here is unbearable, and at some point I'm getting my pawn back. And when you do get your pawn back, you have the better structure, which is great. I'm really thinking about this at this point because if a8 takes, I can just take on a1. The problem is that I don't know if it's the best I can get. I'm honestly thinking of just applying more and more pressure, though. Well, it's just healthy to get your pawn back, I guess. So I will do it. If pawn takes, I'm torn between taking with. Oh no, I can't take with the queen. He then after. After 8 takes, queen takes, rook takes check. He has knight c1 and he's up a queen. So no, I have to take back with the rook. Okay, I don't think that's a great idea. The queen is excellent when there are a lot of pieces and pawns hanging. After rook takes, it takes. Yeah, he has the two rooks, but my queen is way better than his two rooks. They're not that well coordinated. He has some easy pawns to target, So yeah, that was a really bad call. The rooks have to be active, coordinated, defended by each other, and white should have his pawns well protected if he wants to go for the 2 rooks against the queen. Here the queen is doing some real damage. I think he's probably regretting that at this point. He had to take with the 8, but I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure I might have a very tiny pool, best case scenario, but nothing more. Now I just win a pawn and my queen. I just have to keep my queen active, and he will definitely suffer here. He should. Queen c3. Have to be careful though. Rook b7, he can't just dropping this. Rook a7 though was kind of annoying. He didn't see it. I always have knight b5. Oh no, he doesn't have a background problem. The one with the problem is me. I didn't notice something very important, is that he has this trick. Ouch. Again, another game, another blunder. That's really bad. So I will pick up this pawn maybe. I don't know if it's gonna be enough though. Yikes. I didn't see that. I really thought he had a serious background problem. Now I'm just losing the knight and I don't see the compensation, honestly. So what am I gonna do? Let's see. Check. Knight f1. I take on e4. He takes on c7. I take on d5. He takes here. I have 2 pawns. Most likely not enough. How else can I get those pawns? Queen e1, knight f1. What if I start rolling here? No, he just takes and doubles up behind my pawn. That's really unfortunate. But I will start with queen e1 regardless. I will have to play this move. Yeah, he's capturing. I have nothing because knight f1 is always the trick here. I will give the check and then I will think how to get my pawn back. Takes. Ouch. Okay, I will take on e4 and just give up the knight on c7. Just losing that. Queen takes d5, queen takes e7. He gets access to these 2. That's not great. Okay, I might be losing my first game in this series. That was a really big blunder. I don't see, honestly, how to defend e7 for a long while, and at the same time, I only have I have a couple of pounds to show for the. I have a couple of pounds for the knight. Probably not. I'm sure it's not enough. So how to make this complicated for him? At least I shouldn't allow this so easily, because if some queen takes d5, rook takes e7, he will double up and there's 93 coming. I think I'm probably dead there. I will play f5. It looks terrible. It probably is, but some f4s will be annoying, and my plan is to get this d5 pawn while this knight, while not allowing that knight to get so active. So I'm going for that. King f6 takes, and then I will have to decide if I can take everything and get to the pawn. I probably don't get there in time. Yeah, I'm toast anyway. Queen takes d, takes on e7 anyway. Well, no matter what, I'm committed now. Check, go to f6. 93 stuff. Queen d3 or queen d2. Okay, just one game away from getting to 2200, and this happens. That's tough. I wish I got this endgame at least. I have 2 pounds. It might be. It might at least be somewhat complicated for him to convert. Now I'm not really sure I'm gonna get any chances. Rook takes h7 is just deadly. I don't see I don't see even a hint of counterplay for me. I want to play c4, but at the same time it's not. Okay, he's trying to checkmate me. I mean, the guy is really ambitious now. What if I play h5 here? 93, queen almost has no squares, queen h2. On rook f7, I'm certainly taking. Well, at least I don't see him checkmating me. That's something to be proud of. I'm gonna keep every pawn I can. I mean, I'm dead if not. Check. Okay, I guess I can make this complicated. I have 2 pawns for the knight, and my king is better. I don't think it's enough, but hey, he has to be careful too. What about my pawns just going forwards here? Is that a thing? Probably not a great thing. King goes into f4. Oh, he has knight c4, king d5. Well, go there anyways. I'm even down on time. I mean, this is a terrible scenario for me. King f4, going for that. Definitely want to get to his pawns. King f3, c4, I will keep advancing. If check king f4. If g3, king e4. Knight g5, king d4, king e5, I don't even know. But I have to do something with his pawns. I think he made it extremely complicated for absolutely no reason apparent. He was just winning easily if he had captured this pawn. Then he could go for the exchange, like force me to exchange the queen back for the 2 rooks, and I'm dead. I don't know what this was about. Okay, these 2 pawns should stay there. I don't want him to invade, and now I'm going to do something like this. The knight on f3 will stop everything for sure, but I don't know who's going to get into Sukson at this point. I might have some hope if he starts trading too many pawns, which he is doing. I might get a draw. I might get a draw here. That's insane. And if he's not careful, I might even win. Who knows? I'm being too optimistic now. King e3, king g4, king f2. C or d4, I don't know. g5 is also a resource, just it's changing everything. But now I want to win. I mean, he's so unconvinced about his own play that I really want to win now. What is this all about? c4, king d5, king here, king takes c3. Am I pushing too hard? Am I going too far here? Probably yes. But I won't blink now. I mean, he's almost asking to lose this, which is insane. And now what is his knight doing? If the knight moves, I can capture both. If he plays king takes, then c3, and how is he stopping that king d4, c2? He has a check, and then he can stop the pawn, but he's losing these pawns. He's the only one in danger now. I mean, that's gonna be a big swindle if it came to happen. Is that safe? I'm not sure safe is the word. King takes, knight takes d5 for sure, king takes h4, king takes c4, king g3 with, I don't know if with exact play he draws, but he will have to show how. He will have to show the way. There's also c3, by the way. Knight takes d5, c2, and that pawn is off limits. He's getting himself in a very weird situation. I would just take and see what happens, because knight takes, king takes, king takes, king g3 doesn't seem to be the easiest draw ever. He can easily go wrong. I have the h pawn, which is harder for the knight to catch, as far as I know in these endgames. Knight e7, g5. And I'm paving the way for this pawn to advance. This is not going to be easy for him to draw. Do I keep this king out of it with king f3? Yes. I don't have much time anyway. Still can play this. That's annoying because he seems to be getting there in time. That'll be a shame. I mean, I was very enthusiastic already about my chances. but I think I shouldn't be winning this, unfortunately. King f2, knight f4, h4, knight takes h3. Almost there, 95, 93. I might trick him into that. Let's see. 97 or 94. I'm gonna go h4. If he takes h3, I'm so close. Yet I think he has some maneuvers that could lead to a draw. At least I'm making him fall for a trap. Let's see. Okay. What? 93? King g3? What? That was strange. h3, h2? He can't take the pawn. What's going on here? That was really strange. I thought he was going for it. He might have some trouble stopping the pawn, but now what? I mean, now I'm just check. King here. King e2, h2, knight f2, g5. He's in so I think my pawn is going all the way to g3. Well, I might be pulling this off. Don't know how it happened. I think I'm winning this. I think he's realizing now. 94 king g2. The king is exactly where it's supposed to be. One square away from the knight. And this knight has to make so many moves to give another check. 1, 2, 3 moves to check again. He doesn't have that much time. Okay, he really wants to play knight f2. I think he's losing the endgame even if I just promote, which I just might. I won't do it because g5 basically puts him in Zugzwang, I think. g4, knight takes, h1. I just don't want to fall for any tricks. I don't think there's any. This is just too much. That's one of the biggest swindles I've managed to pull off in a very, very long time. Yeah, it's a win. I can't believe it. I can't believe this last game. My opponent really had me here. I honestly thought it was my first loss in this speedrun, but well, it will have to wait, I think. I hope it waits for long, but I've been in some sketchy situations in this session. I don't know how many games there were. When I edit the video, I will look at it. Okay, he takes, but he's probably trying to win on time. As long as I don't get a fork, I think I'm gonna be fine. Knight to d2, check. Okay, check then. Queen h3, I just have to dominate the knight. I think I'm going to c3 if he goes. Yeah, queen c3. He's gonna try to defend this for some time. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'm very low on time, so can't blame him. Check. You have to avoid some stuff, of course. King f3. I won't go there though. Queen d3 might do it. Knight d2. Or that, but that allows queen c2. He has to go to the first rank. King f3, check. King e3, check. King d3, and finally there are no more checks. Oof. Check, go here. One more check, only more. He loses the knight. Go king d3, and finally, that was tough. I think I'm touching 2200. It's +8. If I win, I'm 2192. From the next session, we're going to take it from 2200, hopefully. One resigns now, okay. If I don't do anything crazy. Just let go already. queen g2. I'm still afraid I can make a mistake. I guess at this point, no. Knight f1, queen e2. Oh well, there it is. Really tough session. I mean, playing game after game and surviving is tough. This was almost a miracle. I mean, I bet my opponent is kind of pissed off a little bit because he really had it. he really had the game in his hands. He just I don't know why he didn't take the pawn. If he had taken the pawn and do exactly the same as he did in the game, I'm dead. I don't think with 1 pawn I can get any kind of card play. Okay, checkmate. Well played, 2200, and I'm really curious to see what happened just quickly because it's been a long session. I bet there are a lot of mistakes, and yeah, it doesn't show a blunder. That's kind of crazy. Queen takes b3 is a bad move. That's unexpected. It says, yeah, I have to improve the knight first, so I don't lose it. I really underestimated this. Queen c3 is bad. I had to go to c4 for some reason that I don't understand. Well, I keep an eye on this one, I guess. Queen c3, check, king g7, rook a7. What's the difference? If I had the queen on c4, I would have knight b5. Well, that's easy to miss, I guess. And then, yeah, when he allowed queen takes f7, yeah, that made no sense. And in fact, I don't know why he doesn't just take this one. Just take on h7. I'm absolutely dead. He can go to the same ideas of going after my king afterwards. But well, hope you enjoyed the long session. I got to 2200 by a miracle in that last game, but well, it worked well in the end. I will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.